Hey guys, this is Man to Man Podcast, a podcast all about basketball. I'm one of your hosts, Jacob Rosenfarb.
I'm another host, Jeff Griffith.
And I'm the producer, Josh Sackles.
Pretty busy weekend in basketball. Last time we were on, we still had a couple games left in the regular season, but now it's playoff time. Every series is one game in. I mean, you and I both agree on what's the most intriguing series so far. It's got to be Cleveland and Indiana.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge upset. That is a ridiculous upset. I mean LeBron going down in Game 1.
Mm-hmm. That was his first loss in 21 first-round games.
Oh my God.
That dates back 5 series.
That's crazy.
So he hasn't lost a first-round game probably since, that's got to be, 2012?
Yeah.
But if we're being honest, Indiana pretty much handled that game start to finish. But I did get a text from Jacob, who's been pretty confident that the Cleveland Cavaliers would be able to handle the playoffs despite all the change in roster pieces and whatnot. I got a text from him midway through the third, was it not, Josh? Saying Cavs in 4 when they had cut it to like 8 or 10.
Yeah, they went on like a 13-1 run or 12-1 run. And,
that did not age well as Cleveland went on to lose that game by a pretty insurmountable number. 98 to 80.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you see from this game? I mean, it's LeBron losing in the first round. There's a lot we can pick apart here.
I mean, this is gonna be a weird series.
Really weird.
I mean, it really depends on what LeBron's teammates are going to play like. I mean, like how much are they willing to step up? How much can they step up?
Mm-hmm.
How talented just are these players? Are these players just really bad?
Is that
the hypothesis?
I really don't. I mean, there were some flashes of Kevin Love and Larry Nance. Kevin Love had a big, 3-pointer, and, through contact. It was a big momentum play. Larry Nance had that nice dunk in transition. But even then, I mean, Larry Nance was the second best scorer on the floor for the Cavs, and he was minus 13, 10 points. I'm sorry, no, J.R. Smith had 15. But yeah, LeBron had 24, 12 assists, 10 rebounds. He had a triple-double, and his team lost by 18.
Yeah.
I really think the supporting cast, you want to talk about LeBron because at the end of the day, he is the Cavaliers, and we've seen it every year in the playoffs. But at a certain point, when he plays 44 minutes, it's a triple-double, and they lose by 18, you've got to talk about the guys that are with him. And this year, more than any, I think that's a fair conversation. I
mean, this whole year, everything was pointing to, the rest of this Cavs team is bad. This is bad. This is a bad situation. This is the worst team, not the worst team, but this is one of the worst teams in recent LeBron memory. Mm-hmm. And we just didn't want to believe it. I personally didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, I mean, to your credit, I mean, not that you're necessarily wrong for thinking that, but you were making arguments that they were well constructed and they were going to be, and to be fair, it looked like they might be.
I still think they are.
I'm not ruling out the fact that they can be good. I mean, they still went 50-32.
Yeah.
And looked just as good, if not better, post trade deadline than pre trade deadline. But certainly losing at home in Game 1 by 18 is not what you want out of a team that's, you expect them to be fighting for an Eastern Conference title.
Yeah.
But a piece that I would love to talk about is Victor Oladipo.
Yeah,
32 points, 11 of 19 from the field, a very nice 6 of 9 from 3, 6 boards, 4 assists, 4 steals, plus 21 on the game. He looked fantastic.
He did really look good. He really did step up as just Indiana's go-to guy. I think when Indiana acquired him for Paul George, I don't think anybody really saw this potential in him, this sort of ability to take over games and dominate just from like a lead guard.
I didn't even see that from him in college.
Yeah, he's incredible. He is phenomenal. He is playing out of his mind, and I don't know if it's enough to propel them to a series win, but it's
they're clearly in the series.
Exactly. Now it's something.
We clearly cannot write them off. I mean, we were all saying Cleveland in 5, Cleveland in 4. We clearly cannot make that assertion anymore. I mean, unless Cleveland just goes on a tear and decides to suddenly score more than 80 points in a game.
Yeah.
But Victor Oladipo looked great. I really think. I haven't watched a ton of Indiana Pacers basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they had like 2 national televised games all year. They were saying on the broadcast. But I watched this game and I was really impressed, not just by Victor Oladipo, but by Miles Turner.
Yeah, when Miles Turner decides to show up, he can be really something.
Remember when he hit a 3?
Huh? Yeah. He can shoot. He's a solid shooter. He's a really well-rounded player.
Mm-hmm. 16 and 8.
Just effort has been a huge question with him. He just can't put in. It seems like he can't put in consistent effort. He can't provide any consistency throughout the year. If he's able to put everything together, he would be incredible. He would be a fantastic, complementary piece next to Oladipo.
Here's the question I have though. We've talked all year about playoff matchups for LeBron and for the Cavs. And it's always, does this team have someone who can match up with LeBron? I mean, we're talking about Toronto Raptors, how they didn't have somebody, and that was always, the beef that you had with them as a potential Eastern Conference champion. So I think it's pretty obvious now, the answer to that question, who can stop LeBron, is Lance Stevenson.
Obviously, that is. I mean, we've known this all along. That's the thing, though. We've known that Lance has been LeBron's the kryptonite.
Yes, he's the kryptonite.
He is a thorn in LeBron's side that will just never go away.
If anyone knows anything about kryptonite, it's our resident comic expert, Josh Zachlis. Is Lance Stevenson the kryptonite?
I'm going to go with no.
Oh!
Considering that Superman can literally die from kryptonite. And
clearly LeBron can as well.
Well, wait, hold on there a second, because Lance Stevenson has never beaten LeBron in a playoff series. So he's never killed LeBron.
That's true. But did kryptonite ever kill Superman?
Yes.
Yeah. Get wrecked, Jeff. Come on. Know your Superman.
Come on, Jeff.
Know your comic books.
I'm sorry. To all the viewers out there, I apologize for my lack of comic knowledge.
Yeah, listeners.
Come on, Jeff.
Man.
You're off your game today, Jeff. It's okay, but
who else was off their game? The Cavaliers. So if I'm as off my game as the Cavaliers, I don't feel too bad about that.
Back to the series.
Yes.
I think I really do want to believe this is kind of a one-game blip, though.
Sure.
I mean, the Cavaliers.
I wouldn't mind seeing a good 6-game series.
For sure. The Cavs shot 88 for 34 from 3. I mean, that's bad. 24%. That is
38
rough.
from the field.
Yeah, that is.
Indiana shot better from 3 than Cleveland did from the field.
And so you think at some point,
the law of large numbers will play out here.
And at the end of the day, the Cavs still have the best player in the series by far. Mm-hmm. LeBron is still, superhuman. Mm-hmm. I'm not really that worried about the series, but man, that was a wild first game.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, though. Toronto pose a real threat to Cleveland.
I mean, I think with this series, we kind of saw. I mean, with this first game, at least we saw what a guard can do. What a guard can really. How they can really break down this Cleveland defense off the dribble. And, the Toronto clearly is too.
Yeah.
Lowry and DeRozan. I mean, let's not even count out Washington. Washington was close kind of.
Yeah, honestly.
And they have 2 great lead guards, so.
What's more likely? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Toronto.
What's more likely? Indiana beats Cleveland or Washington gets to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Oh, man. I guess.
Is Washington the best 8 seed we've seen in years?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. I'd have to really think about 8 seed.
That matchup's good.
That's a really good 8 seed. Washington's good.
But and even just the backcourt matchup of DeRozan and Lowry versus Beal and Wall. That's top-notch basketball.
Yeah, exactly. Those are 2 top 5 backcourts in the league.
And the front courts and the supporting cast are a little different. That's why you've got a 1 versus 8 seed.
Sure.
Those are 2 of the best backcourts.
But I mean, Otto Porter is a legit NBA player. Kelly Oubre, there's talent in on both these rosters. I mean, there's arguably more talent on Washington's roster.
Sure.
I think it's a good transition. Let's talk about that series a little
bit. I mean, Toronto obviously won the first game.
Yeah.
That was on Saturday. Yes, that was on Saturday. It was a 114-106 final in favor of Toronto, which is their first playoff game 1 win in, what was it, 8 years?
I think they were 1-12 or
something like that. Yeah, I think they were over the last 8 or 9. But just to throw some numbers out there, Serge Ibaka, 28 points, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. The backcourt battles, Lowry and DeRozan combined for 28. Beal and Wall, combined for, that's math, 42 points. So the Wizards had the backcourt edge, but I think Serge Ibaka played well. DeLon Wright played well off the bench.
Yeah,
18 points, 3 or 4 from deep. So there was a point where this looked like Washington could really pull the upset. I mean, they had the lead mid-third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, this was close throughout. This was a dogfight.
Toronto really won. I mean, Toronto won the second half by 12 points, but even into the fourth quarter, it was still airtight.
These are just 2 really even teams. That's that's the reality of the situation. Is that this isn't a 1-8 matchup. These are 2 teams who fought each other hard throughout the year. Mm-hmm. I think they split their series. I think they're 2-2 against each other this year. And these are just 2 really evenly matched. Going to be a great series.
Do you think this is the most? You think this is the best chance for a true upset in the first round?
Yeah.
In the East.
In the East, definitely. Or nah, I still really like Milwaukee. I picked Milwaukee.
That's true. You did.
So I think that's going to be a fantastic series as well.
Okay, is this the best chance for the biggest surprise? Like
I think
those two combinations.
This is a very realistic upset.
Okay,
Because like I just said, I really wouldn't count it as an upset.
Although then again, watching this first weekend, there really wasn't a game one where I saw that game and thought, yeah, that team is definitely rolling. Because every team looked fallible at times, except for the Warriors.
Yeah,
the Warriors rolled. I meant to make that caveat on my original point, but everyone looked fallible at times. We'll get to the other series. We're not going to jump around right now, but Toronto's an example where they're the second best record in the NBA, third best. I mean, they're the best record in the East.
Yeah.
And they almost won 60 games. They've now won, obviously, the quote unquote 60th game. But yeah, I mean, they edged out Washington. And it's going to be interesting when the series goes to Washington.
Yeah, I can't wait.
That's what I'm excited about because these teams that are right there on the road, like a Minnesota, like a Utah, what's it going to be like when they get the home court?
Yeah,
because that's huge. I mean, if you're the lower seed, if you're going to pick one off on the road, you can go home and sweep. You're in a great position.
I mean, the old playoff adage: series doesn't start until somebody wins on the road.
Right.
So
which Indiana did, which New Orleans did. Do you want to get into that?
Yeah, let's get right into New Orleans.
We're all good with Toronto and Washington.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really great series. They're both super even. That's my main point. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
But this New Orleans game was arguably one of the best games of the first weekend.
So hyped for this series.
Me too. And I think the seeding is so misleading because little rhyme there. The seeding is misleading because these teams are separated by a game.
Yeah.
And people think, 3 versus 6, the Portland should be heavily favored. But no, I mean, they've been close throughout the regular season. Portland had that stretch when they were hot, but at the end of the day, these are two very evenly matched teams. And I think, we saw a lot of different things present themselves in this game, a lot of different potential storylines, but none bigger than the 35-14 of Anthony Davis. How much more have we seen from him in terms of his potential and how elite of an athlete and a big man in this league he is since the injury to DeMarcus Cousins?
I don't think we learned anything new. I think we just saw exactly what he could be.
Exactly.
When he's healthy, when he's in an offense perfectly structured around him.
But it really does feel like he's not gotten better, but he's obviously he's got way more of a load to carry.
Yeah.
But we've seen. I mean, I feel like we're hearing since DeMarcus Cousins went down. It feels like we're hearing about him night in and night out, and this was just the pinnacle of that.
I mean, the offense is just perfectly suited around. Playoff Rondo is going to be so much fun for the rest of the year.
17 assists.
I mean, I think he had 13 before he scored his first points. I mean, he is so much fun, and he's perfect for AD.
He only took 9 shots.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he doesn't really care about scoring. That's his MO. He's going to play some great defense, and he's going to just throw lobs to AD like there's no tomorrow.
And only 2 turnovers for a point guard. That's great.
He's phenomenal. He's going to be anybody could have had him, and he's going to single-handedly swing this series. Mm-hmm. Without Rondo, the Pelicans aren't winning this series. Mm-hmm. As important as AD is, Rondo has been crucial.
Looks like we got a comment from
I was going to say, here's my question for both of you. I don't know how many of our listeners were watching the game, but the Trailblazers had a chance to win it, or tie it at least.
Yeah.
Right.
Final few minutes. And instead of giving it to Dame Lillard, instead of giving it to CJ McCollum, they gave it to Pat Connaughton and Miles Leonard to try to win the game for them.
Yeah.
Why?
That's just kind of a case just more of a case of, like, Connaughton was open, so it was like...
Yeah, he's a great shooter.
The play you're referencing, so Lillard and McCollum are coming off screens, and Connaughton's just cutting towards the middle. He's just wide open in the paint, and he's a very good shooter. He has a sneak a second where he can get open, but he gets blocked by Holiday on that.
Yeah, that's Holiday.
Yeah. And, I think that was our initial point is, as fantastic a look as that is, I'm still putting the ball in my 2 best players'
how
hands.
do you not put it in one of your 2 best players' hands?
Just
even if they're covered, I like that shot better.
Yeah.
Because then you can say, I gave it to the best player.
But we can't underestimate or understate how fantastic a defensive play that is.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, you're talking about even if you're covered, but if they're covered, maybe you can't get it to them. Like, maybe you just can't feed them the ball with the pass. Like, maybe they're just that covered by a great defense.
That's true, but it was early on in the inbound play.
Yeah.
That's true.
It was about a second in.
That's true. I have to doubt that Pat Connaughton was the option they drew up out of going into that play.
No, what I assume is Terry Stotts was like, hey, this might be open because so much attention is going to be played to
right.
Dame and CJ. Hey, this might be open. And it was open.
Yeah.
Just Drew Holiday made an incredible play.
It is good to have that, like, that third option that can be sneaky on a play like that. Yeah. But you still want it in your.
I mean, if it had worked, we'd be here sitting, what a fantastic play by Terry Stotts.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that Drew Holiday made a ridiculous play. And, maybe it should have been C.J. McCollum catching that ball in that position. Who knows? But
Portland's, I think, in a must-win game 2.
Oh my God! Yeah,
and same deal for Cleveland. If you lose your first game at home, you have to win game 2.
Yeah, if you get swept, if the road team sweeps, that is right.
That's almost
certain death.
Guaranteed. Yeah. That's almost certain death as you just put it. That's game 2 is going to be that is Tuesday night at 7:30 Arizona time, and I'm sure we're booking our calendars for that one. I cannot wait to watch that.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
I mean, we talked about Anthony Davis, we talked about Rajon Rondo. But I mean, what did you think of Lillard and McCollum? And they both had good games, 18 and 19 apiece.
They started off slow.
That was the concern I had about them. And they were, I mean, Portland was down 9 at the half, and didn't look that great. I mean, they only had 36 points, so the offense wasn't exactly firing on all cylinders. But yeah, I mean, they figured things out in the second half. But
yeah,
you gotta I have to think if they're firing in the first half, this isn't a close game.
Ooh, I don't know if I'd go that far. I'd say this is more competitive.
This is Portland is in control going into the.
Sure, yeah.
They don't need a 10-point lead, a plus 10 fourth quarter to come back to make it a 2-point game.
Sure. It's real disappointing to see Adam McCollum and Lillard. You hope for higher things in your first playoff game. You're a 3 seed, like that's huge. You're hosting you have home court advantage. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't think it's like emotions getting the better of him. I just think it's happens to be a bad game and that sucks. But I fully expect both of them to come back. They're both so talented. They're both so.
I honestly kind of expect them to win game 2.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. I'd be shocked if they did.
Mm-hmm. But just to continue on throughout the bracket, there's still a lot left to talk about. A game that I didn't even see this one, but I did see the score when it came up on my phone, and I was pretty surprised. The fact that Minnesota hung in there, and despite 44 points from James Harden, lost by 3.
Yeah,
Houston won 104-101. What did you see from that game?
That was just a gritty, grinded out sort of, stay close with them from Minnesota. I was not expecting that out of Minnesota either. This was one of the few series I was really just not excited for. I just kind of thought this would be a kind of quick rollover, but no. But Minnesota looked tough. Minnesota looked like something.
Now riddle me this, because I saw this tweet, and I'm sure a lot of other basketball fans did. You probably did as well. This Justin Fan tweet about Wolves Game 1 usage.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose, Gorgie Jang, Jeff Teague, Andrew Wiggins, all these guys have the top usage. The 6th and 7th most used players from Minnesota were Jimmy Butler and Karl Towns.
Yeah.
Why?
I love Thibodeau. I think he's a fantastic coach, but I really do worry about in-game management of like how he's utilizing his players.
Sure. Karl Towns had 8 points.
Yeah. You just at some point you have to force feed your stars the ball. And if
him and Butler combined for a 1/4 of the team's shots.
Yeah, you can't have that. That's just not how playoff basketball is going to work.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. I don't know.
When Derrick Rose is attempting 14 shots.
Yeah, that's just. It's honestly, it shocks me they stayed this close. They stayed as close as they did.
I know, but imagine where are they if those guys are getting the minutes they want, they need, and the usage they need. We shall see in the next couple games for the series, like really how Thibodeau adjusts, really how the team adjusts. Really, does Butler say, okay, we have a shot in this series, we have a chance at really toppling this, bringing this down. Let's, give me the freaking rock, get out of my way and let me take over this. Him and Cat are just as talented as any 2 players that the Rockets have to a certain extent. Right.
Harden and Capella. Versus Butler and Cat, that's a pretty tight matchup.
I wanted to ask you about that because Harden and you talk about those that kind of 2v2, if you will.
Exactly.
Butler and Towns combined for 21 out of 101 in terms of points, which is 20%. James Harden and Clint Capella combined for 68 out of 104, which is just shy of 65%.
Yeah.
Is that your game right there?
That's a structure. That's an offense.
Trevor Ariza 3, PJ Tucker 3. Gordon 7. Like,
yeah,
literally, the Rockets were almost entirely predicated on James Harden and Clint Capella.
And who else would you want to rely on?
Exactly.
You know,
and that's why I don't get what the T-Wolves are doing.
It's just weird. It's just overthinking it, in my opinion. I really don't know what's going through the Bulls or going through the Timberwolves' head. But
I'm sorry, I don't think you need to get Crawford 26 minutes in a playoff game. I mean, or 26 minutes where he shoots 11 times in a playoff game. It's 7 threes. Like, at least 7 of those 7 threes, at least 3 of those should have been attempted by Karl Towns or Jimmy Butler.
I mean, this is what happens when you construct a roster of aging veterans who think they're better than they are. This is what happens when you have Derrick Rose and Jamal Crawford and Jeff and players who are solid NBA players. But if you don't have a true offense structure, they can't carry you to a playoff win.
That's true. Yeah. Just a great game, but not necessarily what we want to see from the
disappointing last shot.
That was.
You need a 3 there, and Jimmy's like, "Nah, I'm good."
Mm-hmm. But to make a transition out of this, speaking of shots that were not disappointing, Chris Middleton, and the Milwaukee Bucks, that was lit.
I'm really sad they didn't pull that out. That was really disappointing.
I know, that was so much.
That would have been an incredible comeback. I thought they were left for dead though. I think the Celtics were up by like 10, 13 at some point throughout the fourth quarter. And just the Bucks stormed back. Giannis is going to be a problem in this series.
Oh my God,
Giannis is going to be so much fun.
35 points, 13 boards, 11 of 21 from the field. He played 45 minutes.
Yeah,
but then
because he can he's
But then Chris Middleton played 47.
Yeah,
and he had 31 of his own.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
For this again, I have the same problem that I have with the Blazers Pelicans game. Why wasn't Giannis touching the ball on the last play? Because he wasn't.
Sure. Well, I mean, okay. On the last play, if you're talking about the desperation heave, that was with
I'm talking about the Bucks' final offensive possession, where I forget who, but somebody took a shot and it wasn't Giannis, and it wasn't really close to being Giannis.
Well, so they were down by. Are you talking about their last possession when they were still in the game?
Yeah, when they were still in the game.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I see your point. I believe it was. I'm trying to find the play here. Malcolm Brogdon got swatted by Jason Tatum.
Yeah, why is Malcolm Brogdon taking that shot, and why is Giannis not going into the lane?
Yeah, I mean, fair point.
I mean, yes, that's true. At the end of the day, though, like as fair as that is to make that point, like it's basketball. It's quick thinking, and sometimes you don't have them open. And at the end of the day, like a coach can do everything he wants and say, "Hey, we want to get it to Giannis. We want to find him here so he can drive to here, so to pick for him here." But at the end of the day, like he might not be open, and the guy behind the ball might just like snap position, find somebody else.
Yeah.
And the next thing he's got to drive because he doesn't know where else to go. Sure. And it's just snap decisions that take you out of the play. Like at the end of the day, like this isn't like football where we're setting up a play under center. Like we can set up a play, but it's gonna get changed. I mean, how often do you see plays drawn up and ran exactly how they were drawn up in situations like that?
Fair.
So often it's luck of bounce the ball, finding the right guy at the right time. Guys like a Pat Connaughton making that shot.
Yeah,
I get that.
I'm not trying to negate your point, but at the end of the day, like I don't think we can blame them because it's basketball. It's the nature of the game.
I get that, but for me, at least at the NBA level, basketball is so star oriented. Like you have stars for a reason, and it's this way they can get the ball in these tight game situations. And for me, when you don't give them the ball in those tight game situations, you're not using the stars to their full potential. We were talking about the NHL playoffs, Jacob and I, over the weekend, about how ridiculous it was that stars only play a third of the game.
Oh, yeah.
And when you take...
Baseball, too. A guy could be on the bench for the ninth inning.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of basketball. You have your star in for almost the entire game, so why not use him at the end of the game when you can?
But that's the point I'm making. I don't think they didn't want to use him. I just think it's the nature of the game where maybe they just didn't have a chance.
I find that hard to believe. I find it hard to believe that there's no way a 6'11" Giannis couldn't got open it. I think Josh making a good point here. I think in situations like this, you need to force feed your stars the ball, and I think that's just a young coach. That's Joe Prunty, that we've known for a hot minute that this coaching staff on the Bucks isn't. After Kidd got fired,
exactly. Yeah. But for the Timberwolves, credit to them, they gave Jimmy Butler the ball. They weren't used a lot. But when it counted, Jimmy Butler took that final shot to see if the Timberwolves could tie up that game or to take the lead in that game. And
well, it wasn't the greatest of shots.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest of shots. At least you had your star taking it.
No, that's a very fair point. I agree. I have no qualms with that. Yeah, if you have your star on the floor, why not use them? Why not allow them to take that final shot? But regardless, that's going to be a fantastic. I think this is going to go 7. I think this is going to be a great series, Milwaukee, Boston.
Well, another series that you and I think is going to go 7 is Utah and Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
that was a game that. It was a good game. I don't know if I would call it as exciting as some of the other games. I don't know. Oklahoma City kind of took over towards the end.
They just never really let up. Utah kept pounding and OKC just stayed pat. They just they kept hitting shots. Paul George was fantastic. Russell Westbrook did his thing.
I think it's another case here with Oklahoma City where we saw it with Houston feeding the right guys and it's when the best guys in your team are playing at their best. You're going to win that game.
I mean, this is such a star-heavy team,
Right. It's 3 stars and then a lot of...
By 3 stars, I hope you mean Russ, Paul George, and Steven Adams, because Carmelo is rough. Carmelo is not someone I want to rely on in these playoffs.
No comment.
He had a fine first half, but Carmelo is not something I'm looking to place a heavy scoring burden on for the rest of the playoffs.
Well, at the end of the day, he wasn't. He was their 3rd highest scorer by a solid distance, as he should have been. I do not disagree that Paul George and Russell Westbrook are the best players in this team by far.
Definitely, yeah.
And they showed it. I mean, they combined, for 65 out of the team's 116 points. They shot 45 times.
Yeah.
And to their credit, hit 23 of those. The Stars played great. I mean, Paul George was 8 of 11 from 3. It's kind of hard to lose when Paul George is 8 threes. And then on the flip side, Donovan Mitchell had a good game.
Yeah,
we've spoken out about him a lot, and that's not true. 27 points, 10 rebounds. The second best rookie in basketball really balled out against the Thunder, but they came up with a loss. Thoughts on Mitchell, his performance, the Jazz in general? I mean, what did you see from them?
Nothing unexpected from the Jazz. I think this is a very, Utah Jazz sort of playoff game. I mean, when they score 108, you kind of hope they're going to win. I think that's not their ceiling for how much they can score, but when they're trying to hold people under 100 points. This is an elite defensive team, and they're going to have their stars playing most of the game. They're going to have people like Rudy Gobert playing the whole game. So they're trying to hold people under 100. When Paul George when Paul George is 8 from 11 from 3, it's just not a lot you can do there.
Mm-hmm. I'd be interested to see how this goes in game 2, assuming he's not red hot from 3.
Exactly. I think
because if he has a normal shooting day and even an above average and he makes 5 or 6, this is like a tie game.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is Jake Crowder's a great defender. His impact will be felt at some point. I mean, this is. Like I said, this is such a strong defensive team. Everyone on the, from Rubio at the point to Mitchell to Ingles even is a great, has his defensive moments. Jake, it's going to be a fun series.
Yeah.
The 2 very contrasting styles versus, star laden versus, more team built.
Mm-hmm. And
team basketball.
While I do want to pick your guys' brains and talk about some of the long-term down the road ramifications for some of these series we're talking about. We do have one first round series left that we haven't touched on, and that was the biggest blowout of the weekend, Philly, Miami. 4-point game at halftime in favor of Miami, and then the Sixers just blow it open. The Sixers' third quarters have been, yes, you're right. We do have 2 series left. There's another really underwhelming game between Golden State and San Antonio. Take your pick. Do we go into Philly or we go to Golden State?
We'll stick with Philly.
We'll stick with Philly. So, as I was saying, third quarter dominant. Ben Simmons, 1 rebound shy of a triple-double. That second half was explosive.
Miami was staying tight. I thought Miami, the first half was much more accurate of how I thought this series was going to go.
I was legitimately concerned in the first half as an open Sixers fan.
I think these teams are more even than we're letting on. I think let's not get overreacted by one half. I think Philly showed something. Philly, Ben Simmons is really
they threw a punch in the second half, and Miami did not come back.
So good, yeah.
But I mean, Ben Simmons was great. Don't get me wrong, 17, 14, but the supporting cast was phenomenal too. I mean, Bellinelli looked great.
Bellinelli hitting some freaking NBA blacktop.
9 of 17 from 4 of 7 from 3. JJ Redick, 28.
Yeah.
Dario Saric. We don't talk about him very often.
No, he's so good. He's awesome.
He had 20. He was plus 26 on the game.
He's really important for them. I mean, they found a way to make him, Saric, Simmons, and Embiid work, and it's really obviously
people. I mean, you and I have talked about this. How he's one of the more expendable pieces in the long-term future of the Sixers. Do you still think that?
Maybe not. Like I just said,
I agree.
If they can make those three work together, if they can make Saric, Simmons, and Embiid function as,
and then
they're all above.
Hopefully, throw Fultz into that mix.
They're all above 6'10". They all can rebound. Simmons or Embiid and Saric can shoot. I think he might make it work. He's kind of crafted his game where he's malleable enough to work with whatever really Sixers offense they throw out.
Yeah, and a sneaky piece, Ersan Ilyasova.
Yeah, he's
gotta love that guy. 17 and 14. Hit a couple nice threes. They were just their offense working every possible way in the second half.
Yeah.
But Embiid looks like he's back for game 3.
Yeah, that's going to be huge.
That's going to be fun.
Miami needs to steal.
Miami needs to win game 2.
Exactly.
Because I don't think they're going to sweep games 3 and 4 at home.
Probably not.
If they can't win game 2, they're probably looking at a 3-1 deficit coming back for game 5.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, the second half was explosive. I agree that I think this is an example, kind of like Cleveland, Indiana, kind of like maybe Paul George, as we mentioned, just game 1 hype and guys playing above the mean.
Yeah,
and I think the thing about a series is we're gonna see things even out.
Exactly,
and so we're not gonna see 4 27-point wins. We might see another double-digit win. You might see the Heat pick up a couple games, but this was, if anything, this was how good the Sixers can be at their ceiling. Because I don't think they can play much better than that. Putting up 130 on a playoff team.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Which, I mean, if they can continue to play like that, that's scary for any team. Obviously, I don't think we can expect them to.
As much as I love Bellinelli and Ilyasova.
Yeah, I don't think we can expect that kind of performance every game.
Yeah.
But that's certainly a scary ceiling. And I think if we're going to just take game 1's, arguably the most impressive performance.
Oh yeah,
of the first weekend.
Yeah.
But ways to go. So I'm not trying to jump any guns here, even though I kind of already have. But as maybe underwhelming as that one was for the non-Sixers fans in the room and the viewing and the listening audience. Before we get on to Golden State, playoff Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, Kelly Olynyk's gonna be a lot of fun.
He came in and he's just dominating. I'm like, what the heck, Kelly Olynyk? I mean, 26 points, 9 of 13.
I mean, he's won a playoff game Remember Game 7 last year, Washington, Boston. He won a playoff game. Kelly Olynyk's incredible.
Playoff Kelly Olynyk is incredible,
unreal,
and he came off the bench too. Yeah. I don't remember him being this good at Gonzaga.
Huh? No.
Yeah.
He's nothing like this. He's transformed himself in the NBA.
And I remember him being. I have to be honest. I don't watch a lot of Miami Heat basketball. And I remember him from college a few years ago being a good post presence, a decent shooter as a 4.
Yeah.
Kind of awkward, a good defender.
Yeah.
But I don't remember him driving.
No, yeah,
and crossing up defenders. Like, well, I saw him I saw him go on the drive. I'm like, oh, this is a turnover waiting to happen, and it's a jam, and I'm like, what? Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah,
but that's a little piece that I wanted to get your thoughts on because I was relatively stunned by his first half performance.
Yeah, he's been doing this this has been a fun Olynyk year for the Heat. Like, he fits in so well on that team. Mm-hmm. He sits behind Whiteside, but Whiteside's such a downer recently.
He's very mercurial. Like, he's very at his worst. He's just
at his worst.
Yeah, he had 2 last night. Not last night, 2 nights ago.
I want no part of him. If I'm trying to build a team, I want no part of him.
He only played 12 minutes.
Yeah,
that's probably for the best too. I mean, Bam Adebayo played more minutes than Hassan Whiteside did.
That's probably good.
Before we get off this, because one thing I was that's kind of struck me about this game was watching a playoff game, and just kind of watching Dwayne Wade be out there. And it almost didn't feel like it was. You think you're watching a playoff game and Dwayne Wade is like the guy. You're always watching Wade, but he was just kind of there. It's so weird, like watching guys who have been so clutch in the playoffs, like age.
I mean, he has so little left in the tank.
I know. Yeah.
I think he probably does a couple crazy things during the rest of the series. I think he has a couple more moments.
He had a couple nice plays.
Yeah,
he had that dunk.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not even saying like, oh, he's not good. He's good or not good. I'm just saying it was kind of just like a weird, I guess, vibe.
Yeah.
Just surrounding it, just because it was this elite all-time player, like in the playoffs, just kind of there.
I mean, he's the 3rd best shooting guard of all time. Yeah. He's just not really making an impact.
3rd best behind who?
Huh? Kobe and Mike.
All right.
No, in that order. Not Mike then Kobe. Jerry West is tough.
Okay, Lakers fan. No, I think I agree with that. But yeah, just a little interesting tidbit that I felt was kind of odd. But but yeah. So before we get on to the long-term ramifications of what we saw this weekend, Golden State, San Antonio.
Yeah, that's not a whole lot to talk there.
Yeah, and I mean, Popovich was pretty speechless after the game.
I mean, when you're starting DeJounte Murray and Kyle Anderson and
this team just isn't that good.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, they were really good, and then they lost Kawhi, and then we realized they're not much without Kawhi.
Yeah, they lost their best player.
Yes. We've seen this for a while though. They're the 7th seed. They were like the solid 3 seed like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
like they've really tailed off without Kawhi. It's not that surprising.
I think just tailed off in general. I don't think Kawhi has anything to do with it. I think this team just isn't that good, and they found success in the regular season early just because nobody really knew what to expect. But now I think
they're a prime example of. I almost think they're like. I don't know who to compare them to, but they're a prime example of these teams we see where you've been good for a long time, and then you lose some pieces, you lose some of your fire, some of your guys age out of their prime. And we expect you to be good in the playoffs because you've been for so long. Like I feel like this is one thing the Cavs are gonna be like in 3 years, or not 3, but like in 5 or 7 years when LeBron's getting older. Like we expect the Spurs to win in the playoffs and be good in the playoffs, and they're just not. They're not the team that they were.
If you will, Jeff, the Spurs are the Blackhawks of the NBA. I know you guys don't know a lot about hockey.
Yeah, I'm referring to you.
However, the Blackhawks won 3 Stanley Cups. In the early 2010s, 3, and everyone's like, "Wow, the Blackhawks are so good." Like the Spurs, they haven't had as much prolonged success, but they were really good recently. Mm-hmm. They made finals, and then they just tailed off because their players have gotten older. They've had some guys retire, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's. That's a good example. I don't know if there's an example in things like football or baseball, just because I think we see a lot more turnover.
Yeah, when this Patriots dynasty comes to an end.
Yeah, I think all right, we're gonna see the Patriots get a wild card in 4 years.
Yeah,
and we're gonna be like they're gonna be great. And
it has to happen.
We just know they're not gonna be as good. But it's just kind of odd. Like I look at Spurs Warriors. And I think conference finals. I think huge series. Yeah. And it's just kind of an underwhelming, crappy first round.
It's disappointing.
Probably sweep or 5-game series. I
don't want to write their obituary now, but because I still have so much faith in Greg Popovich. But at some point, there's something.
That's the tough part of it. Is the fact that it's Greg Popovich, and you want to see a competitive series between 2 of the best coaches in the NBA.
Yeah.
Greg Popovich is. I think we both agree the best coach in the NBA, and Steve Kerr's up there. I would have loved to have seen. I would have loved to have seen Popovich have a little more talent than this competitive. Because if you have even just a little more talent, if you have Kawhi on the floor, Popovich can coach you to a competitive series. Yeah. And I think you and I were saying that all year. You and I were saying that the Warriors have never beaten the presently constructed Spurs with Kawhi.
It's sad.
And every time they meet in the freaking playoffs, Kawhi's not playing.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating because the Spurs can beat the Warriors with Kawhi, but they're not going to because they suck. So moving on.
Because Kawhi is done with the Spurs.
Kawhi to LA 2019.
Takes, baby. Kawhi to LA. Well, then again, last week, as we saw on the podcast, everyone's going to LA.
That's just the reality.
Our quasi-Yankees. And then, of course, Syracuse doesn't get anybody. But
wait! Who was that top 10 recruit? What was it?
Darius
Baisley. I keep forgetting his name. Oh man! Sorry,
I hate my friends. Well, these aren't my friends. They're my coworkers. Yeah, exactly. They're my associates.
We're third group friends.
Business partners.
Third tier friends.
Fourth.
Sorry. Church friends.
Yes. But to put this in perspective, we've been on for about 40 minutes. We've talked about every series. We talked about the storylines, but this is our first podcast of the playoffs, and I think it's pretty good to get an overview. Potential second round, third round series. What's kind of the long-term outlook based on what you've seen, based on what you expected going in? I mean, talk to me about the bracket.
Also, we're only 1 game in.
Yeah. Exactly, I'm not telling you. I'm not asking you to make predictions based off of the game you saw.
No,
I'm just scenarios, thoughts.
I'm adding that as a caveat for our listeners who may be listening to this on Tuesday or on Wednesday after we're a few more games into the playoffs.
Sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. On Wednesday when we come back and Cleveland won by 50 in Game 2, this podcast is going to sound a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, yes, we're a game in. Everyone's played one game. It is Monday at 12:30 Arizona time. But for now, let's talk. Future series. There's a lot of interesting storylines. One that sticks out to me is Houston, Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
That would be a blast.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I'm changing any of my. I don't think I saw enough in Game 1 from any of these series to change my initial predictions. I have Utah winning that series. I have Utah in 6. I think Utah's gonna kind of roll for the next couple games. I don't know. I think they win 4 of the next 5.
So Houston, Utah.
Houston, Utah would be a lot of fun. I hate to say it, but I think Rockets Warriors on a
Yeah. How likely is it that Anthony Davis can beat the Warriors with this Pels team?
Not that crazy because it's so well constructed around him.
But it's a 7 games.
Exactly. Yeah. Can they win 4 of 7 against Golden State? I do like New Orleans to advance. So I think New Orleans beats Portland, and then they that'll be an incredible series with Golden State if it happens. But there's only so much one person can do. But yeah, on the East. I had Milwaukee upsetting Boston. Feeling a little less confident, obviously, because they lost. But that has to be one of the most encouraging losses. They take it to overtime in Game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee still has the best player on the court.
Mm-hmm.
One of the second best as well. If you depending on how you view Chris Middleton or something like that.
Sure.
So yeah, that's going to be a great one. I think we're going to see a lot of really closely contested games in that.
Mm-hmm.
Philly, Miami, I think will even out. I think Philly's going to win, but I think that'll be a little
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do think Cleveland still rolls. I think Cleveland in 5.
Give me your Final 4. Your conference finals. We haven't really made playoff predictions. This is the last time we were on the podcast. The playoffs weren't set yet.
Very okay. No better time than the present.
Yeah.
Conference finals. I'm still going with Houston, Golden State, and then Cleveland, Philly.
I think I would echo that. I think a lot of people would echo that.
I think that's pretty popular.
That's a very popular pick. And then again, so was Virginia and Villanova, but it's a little different. Unless the UMBC Timberwolves knock off Houston.
You never know.
But yeah, I think it's a very popular pick, and for good reason.
Yeah.
There are those 4 teams. You're talking about, just to put it in perspective, you're talking about the best record in the NBA, the best, I'm going to call it dynasty in the NBA. They're the best team for several years. They're
the Warriors.
It's kind of an innocent to proven guilty thing. It's kind of we know you're the best until you prove otherwise.
Yeah.
And then you've got the best player in the game, and then you've got arguably the hottest team in the game.
Yeah.
And those 4 things usually equal deep playoff runs.
Yeah.
And I think in the Sixers case, getting Embiid back only helps them even more. You have to wonder what the Cavs are going to do as far as overcoming the first loss. But all four of those teams seem to have pretty favorable routes to the conference finals.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because we were pretty hyped for the conference semifinals and I don't think they're going to be bad.
No.
Cleveland, Toronto, Philly versus maybe Boston, Houston versus whoever they play could be good series.
I think they're all going to be great series.
I think all 4 will be. There's a pretty clear favorite, but it's not locked in.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I
wouldn't be shocked if all 4 series go 6 games.
Yeah.
That's probably the
I wouldn't be shocked if we see someone different out of the East. I think it's still Cleveland,
like a Washington or an Indiana.
Washington. I think it could be.
What's the most locked in series you see here? What's the most confident you'd be in an Eastern Conference pick for the first round?
Cavs.
Okay.
Still.
What's the least confident?
That I currently have?
Boston?
Milwaukee. Wait. Which
the least confident you are in a higher seed to win. Let's put it that way. Better seed.
Least confident, I'm going to go Toronto. Just because I think those two, like I said earlier, I think those 2 teams are so freaking similar.
So you're more confident in Washington than Milwaukee?
Yes.
Really?
Because I don't think that. I think it's a better matchup for pure.
Okay.
I like Milwaukee's because I think if things come together correctly, that makes a lot of sense. But the reality of Giannis being able to take over, the next probably 6 games,
sure,
while exciting as fun as that could be, may not be as likely. It's a higher likelihood to me that that John Wall and Bradley be able to just kind of go off and are kind of it's just a better team maybe.
Yeah, Josh, do you have any different conference final predictions?
Not really. But I do have a question for you guys. After one game, which team would you guys say is in the most trouble?
Ooh, most trouble. Probably Portland.
I like it.
Okay, wait. Which team is in more trouble than they were in before Game 1? Because obviously, like, we expected Minnesota to lose, San Antonio to lose. Let
me add this caveat. Because you could obviously say that the Spurs are in a lot of trouble.
Right, yeah.
Or that the Heat are in a lot of trouble. Which team is in most trouble
relative
that you kind of expected them to make at least the semifinals, if not the conference.
So the most trouble relative to their pre-series expectations.
Yes.
Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Cavs. I think the Cavs should be worried. I have all the faith in the world, but
Do you though?
Okay.
You're very back and forth.
Here's my point.
Now.
Here's my point. I would still bet very heavy money on the Cavs, but if I were to walk into their locker room tomorrow and they weren't freaking out, then I would get worried.
Yeah.
Just because
you're confident in the fact that they will fix themselves.
Exactly.
Not confident in the fact that the way they've played.
Bingo.
Okay.
They just played so lethargic. They're so
yes.
They took this whole regular season off basically, and I think they can flip a switch. Mm-hmm. It just clearly wasn't flipped last night.
So we're going to see one of those videos of LeBron in the locker room, like we see those guys acting out all the time. LeBron yelling at all of his teammates.
Basically, that's what I'm hoping for. Just LeBron.
Can we see the real version for once, not the actors? I really want to see LeBron just scream at Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
Josh, are you here for that?
Yeah. I'm here for that. I think LeBron needs to go to his team and be like, listen, I can spot you guys a game or two. All you need to do is win me 2 or 3 games this series. I can win a game on my own. I just need you guys to be competent.
Book LeBron for 60 in Game 2.
Wow, calling it here first on Man to Man. Jeff Griffin, LeBron 60. I'm with
Add 9 from Larry Nance, and you got a very nice game.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Can't wait.
I'm here for that. Any other predictions, thoughts, questions for the board?
I can't wait. I'm ready for these, game 2s, game 3s to get rolling.
Me too, man. It's I will say, even though we saw some blowouts, and even though we kind of have our expectations about what's pretty likely to happen down the road,
yeah,
it was a very fun weekend of basketball.
Yeah,
I do think there's a lot, just because we're so confident in teams like Houston and in Golden State, and even in Cleveland and Philly, whoever.
Yeah.
Just because we're so confident in those teams, these other teams are talented. Yeah. And they just because they lost one game, they can easily. We could be having a completely different conversation in a week's time.
No series is over. So all of these series are so wide open. There's so much talent across the board.
We could be here next week talking next Monday about how Portland's up 3-1.
Yeah, exactly.
We could be talking about how the Cavs are down 3-0. Who knows?
Yeah.
And I think that's something we haven't seen in a while from the NBA. And personally, for me, that's very exciting.
Oh, it's great.
And I'm very much looking forward to Sixers Heat tonight. But I think that's all for us here at the Man Podcast.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with some more NBA playoffs. Maybe a little college back in the mix. We'll see. It's pretty slow period right now.
Unless it's Darius Bazley, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, Tyus Battle will have made this decision by then.
Right. I can't wait.
If Tyus Battle leaves for the NBA, you will hear my rant live on next week's podcast.
Wait.
But for Jacob Rosenfarb and
you actually
Josh
will not hear it
Zachris,
live. It will be recorded because it's a podcast, Jeff.
That's a very valid point.
For just Jacob Rosenfarb, I am Jeff Griffith here at Man to Man Podcast, signing off.